avatars are one of the most destructive forces in Conan Exiles when it comes to destroying the base. They take top spots as the gods out there that will ruin any base if you know how to use them enough. However, in the upcoming chapter of Chapter 4, there is a big difference this time when it comes to combating avatars, and that is introduced with the brand new ballista, which you can use the bolts to destroy avatars quickly and easily. But is it too quick, and is it going to ruin the future of using avatars with this brand new siege equipment? Well, that's why I'm here to test it today, as we are still in test live and it's coming out in about a week, this brand new chapter. I'm going to be showing you how these star metal bolts, how these iron bolts and stone bolts affect avatars and gods in the future of Conan Exiles, so you know if they're a viable option to use anymore or not, considering gods are quite a grind to summon either way. But is it the same for these ballistas? I want to say a massive thank you to PictishPrince, who helped me test some of these out on Test Live. Massive thank you, and well, let's get into the video. So whilst we were testing this, we got a really good idea that this was going to be a really strong thing to do. But there are a few factors to factor in when it came to destroying avatars with a ballista. For those unaware, there are certain points on avatars that are like critical hits and other ones that are more like body shots. So you could equate this to crit points and body points. But at some times, some of the points didn't really make that much sense. And I think that would be due to the hitbox that they have, perhaps being the point of weakness. So for avatars like Set, it didn't really seem to matter wherever you would shoot it. It would do an incredible amount of damage if hitting from anywhere in the front end. Right, I'm gonna slap that tail.
Is that a good way to put it? Alright, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go for mid-body.
That's something I don't want to...
No, that did it. That took
That
it from
didn't...
940 down to 128.
Whoa!
That was, I'm almost dead.
What the hell?
It's easy to kill.
Very, dude. I'll hit you in the
So
face.
Maybe.
So with that first example there, if you didn't hear it right, it was at 9 minutes 40. It uses its timer as a health bar, bear this in mind. We shot it with one star metal bolt, and it took its health all the way down to 1 minute 28, which is an incredible amount of time for one single shot, meaning it would only have about a minute or a couple of minutes to do any damage on my base if I didn't hit it again. But if I did hit it again, it would die even if I used a stone bolt. So for Set, as long as you can get one star metal bolt off on it, it is an absolute killer to this avatar's time in the world. Different avatars had similar results, as Deketo on a thigh shot. It would take away 3/4 of the timer bar, and it was a definite 2-shot to kill the entire thing with star metal bolts. Do consider the thighs are a really easy angle to shoot at with the ballista, but on some avatars it's harder to hit the parts that are weaker and that you need to hit, such as Ymir. So for this one, we were able to try out all 3 bolts, and we were trying thigh shots on Ymir, which were only really taking a few seconds off. And even if we used a star metal bolt, it would only take about 1 minute 30 off, which would be the kind of usual result if you were to hit it with an iron bolt in a crit spot, or maybe a stone bolt, depending on which one you're going for. So we found out with the bolts, it seemed pretty balanced if you were shooting at the thigh areas on avatars. But then we got my friend to turn around to shoot them in the back on a different sort of hitbox, and the results were, well, I'll just show you. That is weird. Can you back up a little bit? I'm going to go for a body shot, because I wonder if that counts. But then again, that didn't count for the other ones, but yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, I'm going to hit you in the middle of the back. Oh.
That killed it from 621 to nothing, so that was a perfect death.
Oh, okay. And the perfect death it was, taking away 6 minutes of avatar time with 1 star metal shot, and it could have done more damage, by the way, considering results on other critical points on other avatars. That's more than half the avatar's time in the world that you're taking away with just 1 bolt. I will say Ymir is probably one of the harder ones to hit unless you have some ballistas cleverly placed, but if you're used to avatar attacks and you kind of got ballistas high and low in your base, and I don't think it's going to be really much problem to get a pox shot off on one of these guys. And if you have them pre-charged anyway, then I don't think it's going to be much of an issue trying to get rid of the avatar if somebody decides to summon it on you. The by far hardest one to get a proper hit on with the ballista, I would definitely say from our testing, was Jhebbal Sag, as he was like very hard to hit since his tail didn't seem to count at all as a hitbox. You definitely want a higher up ballista to get rid of this guy, but even facial shots don't really do that much. No, with this avatar, you want to hit the thighs, which seem to move around a lot because he's a flying avatar. So he seemed to be the kind of best thing to use against this brand new siege weapon, unless you have someone with a really, really good shot. But we found it pretty difficult to get some good hits on this guy, even if it was just static. Now, I thought you'd be interested to hear about how stone bolts perform in this whole thing, and we calculated it took about 6 bolts to finish off one of the avatars if you were hitting consistently, with the time going down. Remember, as long as the time goes down and you're still hitting it, it's still going down either way. But with this guy, we were doing thigh and butt shots. Thigh seemed to do a little less, about 1 minute 30 per shot. Butt was doing about 2 minutes 30 per one of these stone bolt shots. You're most likely going to tap some legs when it comes to this guy, as he's a stomper, and that's probably what you'll be seeing if you were attacked by him. But yeah, if we were trying to kill this in total with stone bolts, they're really, really cheap bolts. 6 bolts of ballista, which is still really insane to me because they are so cheap. And just 6 to kill something that's quite expensive and a big risk to get up either way, it felt a little meh, you know, it didn't feel that good. 6 felt like way too little for this type of scenario. Even iron bolts are not that much better, as it tends to take about 3 to fully take down an avatar, with charging time included. So if you had a bunch of these around your base and they were pre-charged, then you could probably take out an avatar really quite quickly, because you wouldn't have any of the charging time as long as you can hit your shots, which, I mean, it's an absolutely massive target. I imagine it's not going to be too difficult to hit it unless it's like Jhebbal or something like that. Yep, that did it. The thigh's the place, apparently. I went from like 7 minutes down to 3 minutes.
Okay, you want me to try another iron, or you want me to go for the star?
Hit me with another
Or you
iron?
want me to try for a stone?
Because I think whatever you're going to hit me with now, I will die. Got 3 minutes in there. And for a little example with Jhebbal, hitting it with 1 iron bolt took it from 7 minutes 26 down to 3 minutes 25. That is still a very good portion of time removed for something made out of iron. That is quite cheap. The ballista also isn't that expensive to make, so this makes a very effective killing machine when it comes to avatars. I'm now just going to show you a few examples from our testing on just hitting things with star metal bolts, and you can see kind of how it goes on this one. I might tap you a couple times on. I'm going to tap you once on the tentacle and see if it does the same thing.
Go ahead.
Hit.
Holy, that almost killed him. Look at that. That's almost instant death. Was that a star metal?
Yeah, that was from 10 minutes to 2 minutes. So
Yeah.
okay.
10 minutes to 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
And that's just a tentacle. That doesn't matter about your head or anything. That's a tentacle.
That's death. That's death.
In the face.
A place in the world and
That was 9:45 to 2:12. 9:45 to 2:12. That's an almost instant death.
That's crazy, dude. They got... Nah, man. It can't be that easy.
It's apparently that easy.
It can't be that easy. That's bad.
It apparently is.
That is.
Holy, I just destroy your base here.
Oh, you're all good. That is 10 star metal bar and like 70 wood to fully kill an avatar. That is absolute bananas. Like, yes, you heard that right. That is not a lot of materials to kill something that takes quite a while to grind up to even summon it in the first place. I definitely think it needs balancing, and I'm hoping they're going to balance it before it gets released, as it's going to pretty much make avatars pretty pointless as long as you got a ballista up in your base. For those on PvP, I imagine they're going to go and make ballistas now, and yeah, they're going to have some pretty good defense because of them. I think they're perfect when it comes to NPCs and stuff like that, killing them, the damage is just right. But when it comes to avatars, it's doing a bit too much than it should do. Like I was saying, it takes a decently hard amount of work to actually get a true name of said avatar and then summon it. They should at least be able to use it a bit longer than a couple of shots of some bolts. So yeah, at the moment, very extremely good defense against anything big. But if you're on the attacking side, I don't think you're going to get too much fun out of these new ballistas when it comes to raiding somebody else's base. It is kind of lame, like a god gets two-shot by a little puny star metal bolt. Kind of crazy in my opinion. Maybe it should be a thing where it kind of gets reversed back a little bit, so instead of stone taking 6 crit hits to fully kill an avatar, perhaps that should be star metal instead. That takes 6 hits to kill the avatar, then at least you kind of have a fair chance of using it a little bit, and then you have a fair chance of combating it as well, because I feel like 2 is definitely not very fair. And then you can do the calculation backwards, you know, so stone could take 12, or, you know, iron could take, you know, in between that, whatever it might be. Because it definitely shouldn't be a cakewalk to get rid of avatars. I know they're annoying, I know they destroy your base, but they're a mechanic in the game that shouldn't just be smashed out of nowhere by a couple of bolts. That is easily pre-charged in a ballista. Or it doesn't take that too long to wind it either, so it's, you know, I definitely think it needs some rebalancing. I'm hoping they do it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below on this little test. It went on for longer than you can see in the video. I just took like the best bits out of here and showed off what I could for the time we have today. But either way, yeah, let me know what you think. If you want to see more videos like this one, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out, and I do Conan updates when they come out, so you'll be able to know when all that important juicy info is ready to go. Remember, April 2nd, that is when this is all coming out, so get ready for then. And either way, thank you. My name's been Kaya. Thank you for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!